Well, things went from bad to worse. As you know, if you've been watching our independent media organization on We Are Change, we've been taking the coronavirus situation very seriously from the beginning, and we've been telling you to prepare, and hopefully you have. There's been a lot of updates. It's very difficult to even stay on top of all the latest updates surrounding this virus, but we will do our best here, as well as get into the larger economic ramifications with Tim Pichette in this video. But first of all, the headlines are dominated with the news that celebrity actor Tom Hanks has been tested positive for the coronavirus. I remember just even a few days ago, all it's going to take is a celebrity to get this virus for people to finally start taking it seriously. And it looks like people are finally starting to do that, even though it's a little bit too late, especially if you go to many of the supermarkets in major cities. That's also the same analogy used by some of the major moves made by U.S. President Donald Trump that announced a European travel ban and also financial aid and assistance with relief to those infected by the virus. Now, there's also something to really consider here because, again, the government's communication isn't the best. It definitely seems like the government doesn't have everything under control like it says it does, as it's contradicting itself, as we talked about previously before with the CDC and Surgeon General contradicting themselves. Today, Donald Trump, the U.S. president, is contradicting the vice president, specifically with Donald Trump talking about how Americans will now no longer be able to be sent back to the United States if they test positive for the coronavirus, and they will be quarantined. Vice President Mike Pence is insisting that all citizens can come back home regardless if they test for the coronavirus positive or not. Again, two major contradictions, but of course, many people will be affected by this large travel ban. Some people are criticizing it. Some people are saying that it's not even going far enough to stop the spread of this virus. I'm very curious where you guys think that action is down in the description below. I'm more cautious. I'm, again, taking this very, very seriously. The State Department has also issued a statement that all Americans should avoid all travel because there's a possibility that all travel might be suspended, that the United States itself might be quarantined. And again, flights right now from Europe, last minute ditch efforts for people to get in here are $20,000. That's as high as they go to. And again, I'm more leaning on the side that this might be a little bit too late. I'm still leaning on the side that we should be taking this more seriously because, I mean, look at the larger ramifications here. Look at the larger impacts here. They're not that reassuring, especially with the other news coming in that the Brazilian president, who just tested positive for coronavirus, was with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, very close to, of course, the president. Donald Trump has also said that he excluded the United Kingdom from this European travel ban because the United Kingdom is allegedly doing a good job fighting these infections, but the UK has some of the highest infection rates in all of Europe. Again, if you have your full faith in the authorities, in the government, trying to calm you down and reassure you, just looking at the simple aspects of this, it's not really reassuring. But people are taking a lot of precautions and shutting down major gatherings, with the NHL and NBA announcing that they are postponing their season. Tim, what other events are postponed, and how do you see this impacting everyone?
Yeah, thanks, Luke. And we do have quite a few events right now that are postponed. So some of those events that are postponed are as follows. We've got, let's see, right here, we've got March Madness. They're going to be playing in front of no fans. The NBA is shut down. Tons of travel closures. Italy is on lockdown. Just saw Norway is now on lockdown. The South by Southwest Music Festival, that's been canceled. Universal pushes the release of Fast and Furious to April 2021, along with multiple other films. I know James Bond, I think, was another famous one that got postponed. We've got a lot of gaming events. I think E3, I believe that's been shut down as well. There's a coronavirus conference, and so the coronavirus conference had to get canceled because of coronavirus. So it sort of reminds me of like when the Bitcoin conference in I think it was 2018 in January, they weren't accepting Bitcoin. It sort of reminds me of that. Not entirely. Disney China shut down. The Louvre, I probably pronounced that one wrong, but anyways, that is shut down as well. And so right now on screen, we've got an article showing the biggest the gaming's biggest yearly event, E3, has been canceled because of coronavirus. And this one struck me as pretty crazy. So there is an NBA player, Rudy Gobert. I'll be honest, I didn't know who he was before this, but we're playing in the background right now for you guys as he doesn't think coronavirus is a big deal. He goes around, he's touching everything. Apparently a few days ago, he was touching everything, and his teammates are getting all pissed about that. And now Jazz star Donovan Mitchell contracts coronavirus after infected teammate Rudy Gobert was careless in the locker room, touching other players and their belongings days before playfully tapping reporters' recorders. And then it goes on to say Utah Jazz star Donovan Mitchell has reportedly become the second player on the team to contract the coronavirus following center Rudy Gobert. Gobert was tested positive on Wednesday as the NBA was suspending its season. And to me, I mean, it almost seems fake that you've got, I mean, it's just so crazy that you've got the guy who is here and tapping everything, and then he's the guy that ends up getting this. I mean, it's almost like you couldn't have even scripted that. I'm going to say, scripted better, like I'm trying to sound like he's trying to get it or something. But, so much craziness going on. We also, I'd be remiss to say to point out that the stock market, wow, it's already...
Wait, just really quick, Tim,
okay,
before we jump into the stock market, I just wanted to point out that this Rudy Gobert wasn't taking this seriously. He was joking around that he was going to infect everyone, and he did. I mean, this is just crazy. The NBA closure was the really gasp, the really surprise and shock for a lot of normal Americans, because again, there was a whole stadium filled with people that were told to leave. But again, many people are criticizing the NBA for being very slow to act on this. LeBron James even said, I'm not going to play if there's no fans in the stadium. Again, this is going to have huge, wider implications. And this is why, again, I've been telling people to take it seriously, because if you look at people like Rudy Gobert, who haven't been taking it seriously, the consequences are very severe from this. And this is why, again, I've been telling people to take this seriously. I'm making a video on the main channel telling people the steps that they could take individually to try to prevent this step. It's going to be on the main YouTube channel. But the effects are not just with sports, Tim. The effects are even larger and bigger and just insane in the financial markets, which you're going to explain right now.
Yeah, Luke, so the effects are pretty insane in the financial markets. And so right now we have the Fed to pump more than 500, this is new, like breaking news as of right now, the Fed to pump more than $500 billion into short-term bank funding, expand types for security purchases. And we have here, the Federal Reserve has stepped into financial markets for the second day in a row, this time dramatically ramping up asset purchases amid the turmoil created by the coronaviruses. These changes are being made to address highly unusual disruptions in Treasury financing markets associated with the coronavirus outbreak, the New York Fed said in a statement released early Thursday afternoon amid a washout on Wall Street. And so just scrolling down here, just kind of get to the main point over here. So there's $500 billion that they released in what is a 3-month repo operation. So traditionally what would happen is the banks would only, if they did need to go into what they call the repo market, is something that they would happen on a nightly basis. And then it went from one night to, okay, now it's going to be 2 weeks. And it goes from 2 weeks into, okay, it's going to be 32 days. And it goes from 32 days into now it's going to be 3 months. And so this is just, a pattern that myself and John Sneisen, who we do a lot of economic analysis with, that is something that we saw happening a long time ago. So this is the real quick version of all this is September 17th is when all these markets started to freeze up. And the Fed said, oh, no, this is just a temporary thing. And, October 13th, I'm just making that date up, 2 weeks from now, we'll all be fine and we won't have to continue these repo operations. Well, I said, well, not only are they going to have to continue them, they're going to have to keep ramping it up. So it went from the Fed initially saying we can sell $50 billion of bonds a month to now we're at the point where they're injecting over $200 billion a day. So just absolute craziness, because what they have is they have some amount of money that they're putting into the market every night, which is about $170 billion. And then they have another $45 billion every day that's going into 2-week repos. And now they've got a $500 billion one that they just announced. And so this is picking up real fast, Luke. Also from the NewYorkFed.org website, today, March 12, 2020, the desk will offer $500 billion in 3-month repo operations at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. That will settle tomorrow on March 13th. Tomorrow, the desk will further offer $500 billion in a 3-month repo operation and $500 billion in a 1-month repo operation. But everything is fine, Luke. Everything is fine. And what I will say, I don't want to cover this too much more because this is not meant to be a financial channel. But my Timpit Show, the Liberty Advisor channel, is a financial channel with myself and John Sneisen. So if you guys want more of the economic geek stuff, please head over there, as well, because this isn't meant to be just strictly a financial channel, but that is one of my main backgrounds. But obviously things are not going as well as we've been told, Luke. If now the Fed has to pump in $500 billion into one program and $500 billion into another program. Obviously things are starting to heat up, and there's actually now this coronavirus. To me, it's going to unleash a lot more than a lot of other underlying problems. Like there's a huge problem in the debt market. So I know we're talking about the stock market. The bond market is even a bigger problem. Now, one of the biggest problems of the bond market is that you have 10% of the junk bond market are energy companies. Those energy companies are only profitable when oil is like 60, 70, 80, 90, in some cases $120 a barrel. And so pretty soon they're not going to be able to meet their minimum obligations, and they could actually just start going under. So this could create a huge cascading effect. And, whether coronavirus gets scapegoated for everything, this eventually was going to happen no matter what. And, right now it's really kicking off. And so for everyone thinks that, hey, this is just going to pass, I wouldn't necessarily think that. And the other thing I want to point out is that right now, taking a look at the stock market, it is down 1,926 points, which right before we came on air, there's when the Fed announced a $500 billion program, and it went from being down 2,100 points to then being down 1,400, and now by the time that we went live, it went from being down 14 now to being back down 1,900. So just a crazy roller coaster. If you guys need some financial advice on this, I am a financial advisor. This here is not financial advice. So if you guys talk to me one-on-one, that is when we can get into actual financial advice and help people out, because that's what we want to do. We want to help people out, make sure you guys are prepared. And for right now, I know Luke is trying to help make sure his family's prepared. I'm trying to convince my wife that we shouldn't go to Legoland this weekend, but I'm just a crazy guy over here saying that maybe we shouldn't go to a place where people come from all around the world to go put their hands and touch things.
Yeah, with little kids who can spread the virus. But again, now I'll be honest, Tim, I don't really care about the financial stuff, because if ish really hits the fan, toilet paper will be the true currency of the world. That will be far more. I'm just being facetious. I'm joking. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the headlines here just moments ago, just coming in. And this has pretty much all the hallmarks of what was happening in 2008 before that major financial crisis. One of the headlines that just came in, the Fed said it would offer at least $1.5 trillion worth of short-term loans to banks today and tomorrow. There's a lot of problems being shown by this coronavirus that were put there recklessly by a lot of insane individuals that don't play by the basic rules of math. And now everything is unraveling, and it's showing a very, very bad picture. There's even some people who are theorizing that all of this whole coronavirus thing is just a sham to cover up the bigger financial woes. I don't think that's true. But that's some of the theories that I'm seeing out there being kind of pushed online. There's a lot of different theories. The one thing that's clear is, again, this is a fast-moving situation. We're doing our best to update you with every little thing that happens. We're doing our best to look at all the sides, all the sources here. Again, we've been taking this seriously. People have been accusing me of fear-mongering and all that other stuff. And really, if you look at our reporting, it's been dead on. It's been take this seriously, prepare. Take this seriously, prepare. Ever since the very beginning. We hope you do that. We hope you guys stay informed. Keep your ears, and your head on a swivel, and you're ready for anything and everything that's going to come out there, because we're truly living in an unpredictable time. Tim, thank you so much. Anything else you want to say about this specific craziness unfolding in front of us?
No, it's just a fast-moving situation, and this is not a financial channel, but if you guys want to check out some of the stuff that so here we go. I'm just on Drudge right now. The headline just literally, I know you just mentioned this, but the headline literally 10 minutes ago was Fed pumps another $500 billion. Now the headline is Fed pumps another trillion. So we're talking within 10 minutes, the headline goes
1.5 trillion. 1.5.
Yeah, so I am.
That's the reporting that I'm seeing here. So crazy news coming in. We're going to be reporting more on it on this channel, and of course the main channel on We Are Change. Stay tuned for more here. Love you guys.